Welcome to the Sweet Tea Games podcast. This is a podcast about them there video games, hosted by me, Jacob Washington of Sweet Tea Games Incorporated. I mean, I don't really know. We don't really have much of a name for that there company, but that's another thing entirely. I am joined today by my best friend and, co-conspirator, co-worker, Craig Winslow. Craig, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself there?
This might be the goddamn dumbest thing you have ever asked me to do, Jacob Washington.
Now, Craig,
I can't. What the hell do these people? These people don't give a goddamn about what we have to say.
Craig,
What you expect me to say on this here microphone?
now hold on.
I don't give a shit about this. Why am I even here?
Now,
What
listen,
the hell are you trying to do?
Craig, I'm trying to tell you. Now, listen, people do care about what you have to say about them there video games.
People don't
all right?
give a shit.
You may not think they do, but they do.
They don't.
Don't nobody care about what them two boys on that there, what's that called, that just stage select? They don't care about that. They'll still listen to it because they think it's funny and such.
Well,
So, I thought, me and you, we have a good dynamic back and forth.
I mean, we
So
do.
I figured, we could get on these here microphones and, maybe cut it up a little bit. We have some things
All
to
right,
say,
all
we
right.
have some opinions. We have, some things to tell the world and teach the world,
I ain't teaching
I thought
shit.
we could bring a unique perspective to this here podcasting situation, if you catch my drift.
I mean, all right. I mean, okay. I do like them there video games. I do play a lot of them there
See?
video games. So,
See, you do.
maybe we can, talk about that. I mean, I don't really know, Jacob. I mean, I'll try
Don't
my
you worry
best. I mean,
about it.
I'm not very good at talking. You know me. I mean, I'm good at taking apart cars. That's what I'm good at.
All right, you are good at that. I will give you that. Speaking of cars, Craig, all right, they don't always talk about them their video games. Why don't you tell them people, what you went down the mountain and bought recently? That's a good hell of a story right there. Why don't we start right there? Go ahead and tell people about that there Corolla you done perked up.
I mean, all right, I can do that. All right, so, I was, I woke up one morning, went down to the crossroads, got myself a newspaper, was looking at them there for sale ads,
As one
and I
does.
seen that some boy had himself a 1993 Toyota Corolla for sale. He was asking $1,700 for it. I thought that, that's a bit steep.
It is.
But maybe I can talk him down a bit. So I gave him a call. I said, hey, I'm about to be down there. I got to make a stop at the Food City. I see you're located by that. So, I'll see what's going on. Maybe we'll talk prices.
Right.
And he said, all right, well, come on down. And so I did. I got you, picked you up. I said, hey, we're going to take a look at this here Corolla. I need your opinion on it.
That you did.
And so we went on down Coburn Way, went on down the mountain. Got there about noon.
About noon it was. Right. You right.
He showed us Corolla. I said, how many miles that there Corolla got on it? He said 4,700.
It was
Well, not 4,700. I misspoke. 47,000.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I was like, well, that's not a whole lot of miles for make of that car.
You don't see that.
1993 Toyota Corolla, that you'd expect that at least have, a couple 100,000
Oh, at least.
at the least.
Oh, yeah.
But this one didn't. So I was interested. So he said, I'm looking to get 1,700 for it. Belonged to my great grandmother.
Oh,
She just passed away the other day. I said, I'm sorry for your loss there, sir.
it was sad.
And he said, well, and I said, well,
That you did.
and he said, well, how about 1,700 for it then? It's in good shape. You can see that. And I said, well, that might be a little steep. Kelly Blue Book value for this here car is about, maybe 1,400.
That's about
And I
right.
said, well, would you take 14 for it? And he said, well, I have to think about it. I said, that's okay. You think about it. All right. I'm gonna run on down to the Food City here
Right.
and get myself some groceries. Me and Jacob, we got some shopping to do.
We did.
So we, you and I, we went down to the Food City.
That we did.
Picked up the groceries. I said, now don't you buy no frozen food.
Well, you did say
We're gonna
that.
go buy that Toyota Corolla.
Well, you
I'm gonna
did
talk
say
that
that.
boy down. I can tell it in his eyes.
You got the hunger.
And so we did that, and then I called him back up. I said, "Well, I'm gonna come back over." And he said, "Well, I reckon I can take $1,400 for this."
That's what it said.
I said,
I heard.
"All right." So we got there, and we exchanged money, and we went on down to the title office.
Right.
Notarized it and such, and you drove my car. I drove that there 1993 Toyota Corolla back up the mountain and sitting in my garage right now. It's a nice little car, I'll tell you what.
That it is, Craig. It is a nice little car. Now, one thing I noticed driving your car, you need to get that there clutch checked.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's something up with that thing. I don't know if you noticed it or not.
I think.
But it feels like it's slipping.
It's fine.
So you might want to get that looked at. I mean, maybe we can get it out there. We call up Jeremy, see what he thinks. But we might need to get that up on the lift.
I ain't calling Jeremy for shit.
That feels like it's about two days of, it feels like it's a few miles out from going out.
It's fine, Jacob.
I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, that's just my gut feeling. But, I've felt a clutch go out. And you don't want to do that when you're going down the mountain. Let me tell you.
I mean, that's true, but it's fine. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I drive that car every day.
I'm just saying,
all right,
Craig.
It's fine. The Honda Civic is fine.
I don't know.
You leave that goddamn Honda Civic out of your goddamn mouth, Jacob.
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Fine. I've been driving that, about 7 years now.
You have.
Ain't never had the clutch go out in it.
I mean, obviously you have.
I bought a manual transmission for a reason.
Right.
Because I needed the speed.
I know that.
See. Now, that car's fine. You shut your mouth.
Now, I'm just trying to be friendly, Craig. We don't have to get into this right now. Let's not be like that. All right. You know what? Let's just move on. All right.
Let's move on.
Craig, you got any other stories you want to tell these here folks?
I mean, no, I really don't. But I mean, while we're here, Jacob,
all right.
If you don't think I've heard this shit you've been talking about, these goddamn rocks out in the yard.
All right, Craig.
I'm a little bit pissed off about it.
All right.
Now, you keep going on these podcasts and saying, "Oh, Craig keeps bending these blades up on this goddamn
because it's true
Cub Cadet of his."
It's true,
and that is true.
It is.
But, I mean, you don't know the whole story, Jacob.
I do know.
Well, you do, and I keep trying to explain it to you, but you don't goddamn listen. All right?
All right.
Now, that's on you.
It's no.
All right, well,
Craig.
Okay.
All right,
all
now,
right,
Craig, listen to me. Craig, listen to me. I'm about at my limit with you.
All right.
We might have to wrestle here in a minute.
No, you don't want that.
Just show these people who's boss.
Whatever.
Now, I'm a little bit, okay, now you got me heated up.
All right, do I?
All right, now you got me heated.
Good.
Now, Craig, you keep going out there. You keep bending up the goddamn blades on the Cub Cadet. I told you, you need to stop getting around them rocks. There ain't no reason for you to get out near them.
Now.
Right? You drive a nice lawnmower. You got a nice yard. I don't even know why you need the rocks. I keep volunteering to help you move them, but you won't do it. Now, you explain to these people why you won't move these rocks, because it's the dumbest goddamn reason I've ever heard.
All right, I'll explain too. Now, listen, I got these rocks out there. All right, out there in the yard. They're big rocks.
They are.
Now, you would think you wouldn't hit them with the lawnmower. All right. But I do.
Yeah, you do.
I do that.
You do.
All right. That's on me.
It is.
But I don't want to move them there rocks.
Here we go.
I'll tell you why. I got 3 frogs out there, and they go on them there rocks, and they're nice, and they go out there, and they sit on the rocks. They warm themselves up, catch some flies, get themselves some relief from, the cold, damp days out here.
There ain't no goddamn cold, damp days.
That's basically it. If I move the rocks, then the frogs don't have anywhere to go. Then what am I going to do, Jacob? I'm going to lose the frogs in my yard. Then who's going to catch the flies? Then I got a whole other problem. It's a real old woman in the sea problem. All right.
That doesn't make a lick of sense, Craig. I'm going to tell you right now. Are you talking about the hole in the bottom of the sea? Is that what you're talking about right there?
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
That is a dumb fucking reference.
All right.
I'll tell you that right to your face, Craig. All right, now.
Jacob, I do not like flies.
All right,
I do not like them, sir. Now, I've tried to tell you this a million times. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Craig, you need to get out there with that there weed whacker you just bought. You got 3 of them, right?
You do.
Well, if I get out there with the weed whacker and I get toward them rocks, then I might hit one of them frogs with them strings, and they's going to die. And then who's going to feel bad? Me. That's who. Not you, because you didn't do it.
Now, calm down.
So, them rocks are staying there. Sometimes we're going to hit them with the lawnmower. All right? They'll be all right. I got money. I can pay for them goddamn
Well,
blades.
you keep
all right?
buying them goddamn blades off a wish.
Here we go.
You know
Here
where
we
you
go.
buy them blades at. Yeah, you can't be buying these cheap ass blades, Craig. You gonna bend them up in no time. You gonna bend them up just mowing the lawn regular.
They's
that's
good
just
enough for
crazy.
that.
Now you need to buy yourself some good quality blades, and you need to find a way to fence them goddamn rocks off. All right, so you
All
don't have
right.
this problem. Now we go out to the Home Depot. We'll buy you some mulch or something, and we will,
That
we'll
won't
make
work,
sure you
Jacob.
don't hit these rocks no more.
That
I'm tired of
won't
getting
work,
this
Jacob.
goddamn lawnmower up on the lift, trying to put these blades in. It's a pain in the ass. Then
I know
sometimes
that.
you bend the guard up too, and then we got to take a hammer to the goddamn thing.
All right.
It's a whole goddamn thing, Craig, and we're tired of doing it.
Listen.
Me and Jeremy keep telling you, don't be doing this. All right?
Listen.
We've told you, but you don't listen. All right, you don't listen.
You're right. I don't, because it's ridiculous. All right. Now,
All
All
just
right.
listen.
Maybe-
to us, all right, okay.
there
Just
must
listen.
be a way. Now, I
There
can't
might
put
be.
mulch there because that'll drive the frogs away. Then they won't want to be there.
Oh,
I mean, all
Craig,
that is just wood. Now
so?
you can't get you can't keep it moist enough, Jacob. They aren't going to come back.
All
They
right,
got to
that's
have
fair.
some place
All
to
right.
hide from natural predators. All right, that's how frogs work. Don't you know anything about frogs?
Not really.
All right.
No, I don't.
So, all right. Well, maybe you know what we should do.
What should we do,
You know
Craig?
what? You know what we should do.
all right.
We should get one of them there ponds.
Okay.
And fill it up with some fish and put some lily pads down.
All right. Now you're thinking.
And maybe I can get y'all to help me do that.
I'm-
All right.
we'd be
You know what?
happy
I'll
to do
think
that.
about it. I'll do some pricing today.
Okay.
And we'll see where we get with that. Mate,
All right.
if it ain't too much, that would be nice. I mean, you can run that there waterfall.
There you go.
That'd be a nice soothing sound in the summertime.
That would be nice.
Just
Tell
kind
you
of,
what.
ease your cares away.
Right.
That might be all right. Okay.
See?
As long as there's a place for the frogs to go,
All right. Now, okay.
that'd be all right with. That's all I'm concerned about. I don't want them frogs to feel disenfranchised.
I
That's what
understand
I'm
that.
afraid of.
I
all right?
understand that, Craig. I understand that. That makes perfect sense to me. Now, listen.
See? All right.
Now, all right. So we'll get in on that their internet, and we'll do some pricing at the Home Depot.
All right.
See what they got available. We might have to go to a few specialty stores. We might have to travel out for this.
We might.
I'm gonna tell you, this might be a whole project right here. See,
Probably will
compromise,
be.
Craig. That's what. See, this is good. This is good. See,
It
we get a
is.
microphone in front of you, and all of a sudden you're talking sense.
All right.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Now, I'm
Well.
always talking sense. Okay, I'm always saying things that make sense. Y'all just don't listen.
All right,
And then I get all worked up. And then,
you do.
we get a few Miller Lights in us.
I mean, that
and there
is
you go.
true. That is true.
Fuck, ain't this supposed to be a video game podcast? What the hell are we doing here?
It is.
Jacob?
All right. Now, Craig, it is a video game podcast. Now, so if you want to, we can talk about some of them there video games.
I
I'm
do
sure that's
want
what
to.
people came here for in the first place.
I do.
I'm sure they're itching to know what you think about them there video games.
I doubt that.
So, Craig, what video games you been playing? You been playing any of them there video games? I mean, you seem like you play a good amount of them. Tell you that right now.
I mean, I do. I've been let's see. I've been playing some of that there Metaphor Refantasio.
I beg your pardon. What the fuck is that, Craig?
Yeah, Metaphor Refantasio. It's one of them there Japanese role playing games.
All right.
One of them there Japanese made games.
Yep, I know.
They were pretty good. I like them.
They are good.
So it's kind of like, Dungeons and Dragons, but like fancier, like more
Okay.
anime,
Sure.
if you will,
Sure.
something like that.
Right.
So this one is made by them there Persona people.
Okay, they make good games.
Yeah.
Right.
Them there Persona people. And they, they make them their games, and most of them are RPGs. As far as I know, that's what they make.
Right, they make them their
So
Persona.
this one's called Metaphor Refantasio. I got
All
no
right.
fucking idea what that means. But,
I don't either.
I played. They had a demo for it,
Okay.
and I was like, all right, well, that'll be a couple hours of my day.
Right.
And then I was sitting there till about 3 a.m, drunk off my ass,
As one does.
still playing this thing.
Right. Wow.
Tell you what.
Tell you
And
what.
I like it so far. I'll tell you that right now.
All right. Well, Craig, that sounds all right. Well, okay, so like what's it about? Like, so this one,
Okay.
I had to look it up while you was talking. This
Okay.
one is made by them there Atlas people. and
Alright.
that is published by that there Sega.
Oh, okay.
So you know them big names. I
Them are big
reckon,
names right
in
there.
the video games industry.
Yeah,
You and I, we're still learning that.
we are.
But you know, we've been ever since we started making this here game of ours, that there 22 rifles.
It's a good game.
We have looked into, you know, the video game industry as a whole. So we've been learning a lot. So this here is Atlas. And, you know,
Right.
they making this here Metaphor Fantasia, which,
Right.
you know. So, all right. So I digress. What's it about,
Okay.
Craig? What can you tell us that?
Sure.
Like, what do you think what's going on in it?
All right. So you play this as this here. I forget what they call him, but he
All right.
is. You know, he's just a boy, and he's got blue hair, and his eyes are different colors.
All right.
I forget what he is exactly. It's like you know, like fantasy races. You know,
Okay.
like you got some elves, you got like some dog people,
Right.
you got some boys with 2 colored eyes.
Okay.
You got
Okay.
there's probably a couple
Well-
other ones. I just can't remember them. There's
Right.
been one girl who had like angel wings or something.
Okay.
It was a whole thing. So
Sounds like it.
you play as this boy, and his eyes are different colors. They ask you, you know, what your name is as the player. So I put Craig,
As
and
you
then
would.
at some point they was like, "What's this boy's name?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know." And so I named him Chris.
All right.
And he's been, you know,
a good name.
you know, just walking up and down and you know, fighting boys. So it,
All
you know, the
right.
story
Now,
goes,
Is that all
you know,
Is that all you're doing in that there game? Is just
No,
walking up
no.
and down the street and fighting boys like that?
no,
I mean, that sounds all right. I would play that, but you know that it seems like there might be more to it than
oh,
that.
there is. I mean, you're not just fighting boys. I mean, that's a part of it.
Okay.
But like, there's a whole, you know, fantasy story going on.
All right.
They keep referring to this here book that you got, and the book is describing like, you know, like the real world, I guess,
All
but
right.
not really, because things are good in it.
Well,
So, you know, not exactly that.
right.
But okay, so the story is like there's a prince,
Okay.
and he's still alive, but people think that boy's dead.
All right.
And there's a king, and he's been killed by this boy named Luis.
All right.
And the Luis is the bad guy.
Okay.
At least I think he looks like you ever seen that there anime Berserk?
I reckon I have. That's that one where that boy has that big old sword. I mean, it's about as tall as he is. I
Right.
don't know how he swings it, but you know he does.
Yeah,
And then you know, fights demons and such.
yeah, that's the one. That's the one. He reminds me of the bad guy in that, whose name was Griffith.
Okay.
He reminds me of that boy.
Right.
Anyway, so he's the bad guy, and he's trying to be king, so he kills the king, and you're not happy about that as a boy with 2 eyes,
As you
2
would
different
be.
color eyes, I
Right.
should say.
Right.
And so, you know, you're setting off, and you're going to try to, you know, do something. And
Right.
so you got to enlist in that their army.
You gotta
And
do it.
so you do.
Yeah.
And then you go out to fight some boys
Right.
at some fort.
Okay.
Because you got to meet a man.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to meet people.
That's true.
I mean, that's just how the world
That
works.
is how the world works.
So you meet him you got to meet him at this fort,
right.
and then you get to the fort, and they're like, "Oh, it's under attack by humans," and you're like,
Oh,
"Oh, what?
boy.
That don't make no sense."
I mean, that's
because
crazy.
I haven't met a human yet.
Right.
So you get in there, and they're like, "Oh man, that human is killing some people."
Okay.
You're like, "Wait a second, that don't look like no human," and it don't. You know what it reminds me of overall, Jacob?
What's it remind you of, Craig?
It reminds me of that anime called Attack on Titan.
Okay.
I don't
All
know if
right.
you ever seen that.
I
That's where
have.
them big old boys, the big old naked boys, walk around and eat people.
Right.
It's a whole goddamn thing.
Right.
And then them other boys roll around on them their strings and slice them up.
Right.
It's a whole thing. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
I've only seen like a little bit of it, but that's what it reminds me of.
Okay.
Overall, just because like you meet some humans and you're like, that ain't no human.
Right.
But apparently it is. So I don't know what it's going for there. I'd have to keep playing the game to understand that.
That
But
sounds
anyway,
right.
you meet this old bastard after that, and he's all right. He seems like a nice fella. And then you got to go in these mines, and you're getting attacked by some other fellas, and you got to fight a dragon, and it's a whole thing. You know, it's It's pretty good. It's pretty good, all right.
Well, that does sound good, Craig. So, is that all you're doing in the game? I mean, what is the fighting like? Is that pretty good? Is it like a Persona game? I mean, I played a little bit of one of them one time, and it seemed all right, but I didn't really stick with it.
Okay.
I imagine I just didn't have the time to get through that.
That makes sense.
But if it was anything like that, I mean, I reckon I might be interested.
I reckon you would, Jacob. I mean, so yeah, it's pretty much like Persona.
Okay.
You get these things that are called archetypes, but they're basically just personas. And when people, get awakened to them, they rip their own heart out.
Okay.
One boy that is in your party, he rips his own heart out and then speaks into it like it's a microphone. So that I was pretty entertained by that.
I reckon.
But it's pretty much just Persona. Like you're summoning people and they have different magic spells and different abilities and such.
Right.
And you're just doing that. It's just Persona pretty much. I mean, they don't have, you ever play Persona 5 where they have that there talking cat?
Yeah.
Well, this one don't have a talking cat. This one has a fairy.
All right.
That will follow you around and help you out and, talks to you and such.
Right. Well, that makes sense because, it's more fantasy based. I mean, that just makes sense to me.
Right. Well, I would say the only, cool thing that I liked personally was sometimes if you hit the enemies in their weak spot or whatever, it will give you, extra turns and such. So there's a whole turnover thing going on so you can kind of think that out. Like I fought a dragon, right?
Okay.
And I switched all my people to this mage archetype that I'd unlocked.
Okay.
And what I did was I found out it was weak to ice.
Right.
So I just sat there and cast ice at it.
Well.
And I got 6 turns out of that.
Well, I'll be.
So when he would go to hit me, he would hit me.
Right.
But I would hit him a lot harder. So I beat that fight in 4 turns.
Well, I'll be.
And so I kicked the shit out of that dragon. It felt pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you.
That does sound pretty good, Craig. I'm not going to lie to you. You're talking me into trying this out. I mean, so it's a free demo?
Yeah.
You can just go out there and, download it for free? That sounds all right. I would give that a shot.
I think you should, Jacob. I think you would like this one. It's wild. I mean, it's right up your alley, man.
Okay.
I mean, you like some weird shit.
I do.
Time to time. So I think you can get into this. Now,
all right.
If it turns out to be that way in the whole game, we'll see.
Right.
I tell you this right now. I didn't get through the whole thing. I got through most of it. It got to the main crux, and it was hey, you got 3 days, and you can kind of do whatever.
All right.
And I was just all right, well, I'm gonna stop right here and I'm gonna go buy this here game.
Right.
So I did. I even bought the fancy version of it.
Oh boy.
So, because it came with the soundtrack and the music's pretty good. I mean, it's not Bon Jovi, but it's pretty good.
I bet it's better than Bon Jovi, Craig. I'm just gonna say that right now. But okay. So you said the music's good. All right.
Yeah.
What does it sound like? Is it there's a lot of church choirs? Is there a lot of, guitars and such? What kind of genre of music is it? Is it, is it fantasy music? What does it sound like?
Well, now, Jacob, I'm not going to let that fucking Bon Jovi quote there slide.
All right,
now
Craig.
You take that back. Before we go anywhere, you take back what you said about Bon Jovi. All right now.
Craig?
I'm not continuing with this podcast until you take that back.
Calm down.
Okay.
Calm down, Craig. All right, now listen. All right, I'm sorry. I wasn't insulting Bon Jovi. I just said I bet this game's music is better than that there Bon Jovi. That's all I'm saying. That's all I said.
All right. Well,
I mean, you know how I feel about Bon Jovi. I think they're a perfectly competent musician.
All right.
All right. They sing well. But I'm a little bit sick of hearing them right now. All right.
Well, I mean, that's on you personally.
Right.
I mean, I never get sick of Bon Jovi. I mean, it's my life, and it's now or never.
I know.
And I ain't gonna live forever.
I
Jacob.
do know that.
That's all I got to say about that.
I know.
I don't know what the fuck your problem is, but John Bon Jovi. But he puts his heart and soul into his music. All right, and you need to recognize that. All right?
I do recognize that, Craig. I do recognize that he puts his heart and soul into his music.
Okay.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying if I hear the album "Slippery When Wet" one more time, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Good album.
That's all I'm saying.
Good album.
I'm not saying he's a bad musician. I'm not saying his music isn't good. I'm just saying I'm a little tired of hearing it. You play it
Okay.
about 17 times a day. You play the
Whatever.
one fucking song 17 times
It's
a day.
good.
We don't need to hear Bon Jovi that much. We're about this close to having an intervention about it. All right? We're
All
gonna
right.
if you come to an empty house someday and you're like, what's going on? And it's just a group of your friends. It might be a John Bon Jovi intervention. That's
Well-
all I'm going to tell you right now.
Well-
all right? You just prepare yourself for that.
I'm prepared for that, Jacob. I'm prepared. You think I'm not prepared for that? You think I give a goddamn? I'm going to keep playing John Bon Jovi.
Okay.
You can't stop
All right,
me.
Craig.
All right?
I don't
I
intend to.
recognize that I'm wanted, dead or alive. All right?
All right.
I'm a cowboy. Got a 6-string on my back.
You have
all right?
said as much.
I recognize that.
I do.
But, you know, you know what? Let's just move on. Anyway,
Let's move
the
on.
music in this game is pretty good. Okay? It sounds,
All right.
you know,
Good.
like a choir.
Okay.
Like, kind of like opera.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
but like not if John Bon Jovi was doing an opera,
All right.
but like if, you know, like an Italian boy was doing an opera.
well,
So pretty good. I'll tell you that right now.
the Italians did invent the opera, I reckon. I mean, these would make it famous.
Right.
I reckon. I mean, I don't really know musical history so much.
Neither
but
do
I tell
I.
you what, that sounds all right, Craig. I tell you what.
It's good.
So is there anything else you'd like to tell people about this here game? What's it called again?
It's called Metaphor Refantasia.
Okay.
I know, it's dumb as shit.
It is.
I don't understand what it's called that for.
Me neither.
I reckon we've run out of names for video games, but
Probably.
it's pretty good. Overall, I can't wait to play the rest of the game. Like I said, I bought the big fancy version of it, so I'm kind of pot committed at this point. Comes out, you know, October 11th.
Okay.
So, you know, I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, that's not too far off, Craig. All right. Well, that sounds good. Metaphor Refantasio.
Yeah,
Did I get that right? Probably.
you did. You did.
Great. I'm glad I got that right, because that's a hell of a name right there.
It is.
Well, I mean, now, Craig, you did say in that in all that I do like some weird shit.
You do.
And you are correct in that. I do like some weird shit. And I
You do.
have been playing some weird shit. But before we get into that,
Okay.
I have something special that I put together just here for you.
All right.
All right, so I asked Justin on that there Stage Select podcast
All right.
how to put together some of these here buttons.
Okay.
And I thought of a segment. We're going to give you a little test, Craig.
Okay.
All right? I'm going to call this here is called Guess That Gunshot.
Oh, boy.
And what you're going to do is you're going to hear a gunshot, and
Okay.
you're going to tell me what caliber of gun that's coming out of.
Oh,
All right, I reckon it'll kind of go together with the game we're making right now and
Right.
other things. I feel like people will be impressed by your knowledge of, being able to hear a gunshot and telling them what caliber it is. You're an expert at this.
I mean, I am an expert at this. I just do this for fun on my own. You know, this is kind of my thing.
It is.
So, yeah, you know what? Bring it on. What's the first gunshot? Let me hear it.
All right. Well, the first one should be pretty easy.
Okay.
All right. This one, I don't think you're going to have any problem with this.
All right, we'll just play.
So I'm gonna hit this here button.
Okay.
And then you got to guess that there gunshot. This,
All right.
This one's kind of a gimme there, Craig. I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you that right now. All right. So let's hear it.
All right, I'm ready. All right. Jacob, can you play that for me one more time? I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but just one more time, if you don't mind. Yep. All right. Ain't no mistake in that. That right there, that's a 22 rifle.
All right.
I mean, that's a gimme.
It
Come on
is.
now.
I know.
You knew I was going to get that.
I did.
You knew I had that one.
I did know. That was the easy one, Craig. That was the easy one. And you are right. That is a 22 rifle. If any of you out there ain't never heard what a 22 rifle sounds like, it sounds something about like that.
Yep.
Not a very powerful gun.
Nope.
Just good enough to shoot some cans that you build up in the pyramid or something like that.
Good
Put
time.
some sand in them there cans and
Good time.
fire away.
Yep.
It's a good time. All right, now this next one, Craig. This one might be a little bit trickier.
Okay.
But probably, I think you're gonna get this one too. All right.
All right. I reckon.
So we'll go ahead and play it.
Okay.
And we'll see if you can get it.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Oh, okay.
You want to hear that one more time,
Yep,
Craig?
yep. One more time, if you don't mind, Jacob. Oh, okay. I think I got it. Let me think here. Let me just do some deduction in my head.
All right. Take your time.
I reckon. Oh man, Sounds like it's got a little bit of kick to it.
It does sound that
I
way.
reckon that is a 357 Magnum.
Okay.
I could be wrong, Jacob,
All right.
but I think it's a 357 Magnum. I'm going to say that's my final answer,
All right.
and you can tell me if I'm right about that.
Well, Craig, you are 2 for 2. That is a 357 Magnum. I reckon you've heard that one shot a few times out of my Mamaw Sue's house.
Yep.
So, that was a bit of a gimme as well.
It was.
But good job, 2 for 2.
Thank you.
I knew you had this one in the bag. All right.
Thank you.
Now, this next one, Craig, this next one is a little bit more tricky.
All right.
So we're going to see if you can get this one. All right. This one, when I thought it up, I was like, I bet he'll get it, but it's a little bit harder. We're going to keep going on down the line.
Well, that sounds right.
So we'll go ahead and play it for you.
Okay.
And if you want, we'll play it again. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, here we go.
All right. Oh, okay.
All right. Craig, you want that one more time?
Yeah, I would, if you don't mind, Jacob.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
All right. What you reckon that one is, Craig?
All right. Well, it sounds like a revolver.
Okay.
I can't, quite put my finger on it though.
All
It's
right.
either a 32 or a 38.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to say it sounds a little bit more powerful than a 32.
Take your
I'm
time.
going to say that's a 38 special.
Okay.
No,
All
I
right.
take it back. That, Jacob,
Okay.
final answer. That is a 38 snub nose.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Craig, you are correct. That is a 32 snub nose, or 38 snub nose. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I misspoke. That is a 38 snub nose. I cannot believe you got that right. That's impressive to me.
Thank you.
That one, I would have just accepted if you would have said, that's a 38 right there. I don't know what kind of thing it's being shot out of, but you had the snub nose and everything. All right. Now, see, I told you, ladies and gentlemen, this man knows his gunshots.
I do.
All right. If there's one thing Craig Winslow knows, it's gunshots. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
So, all right, Craig, are you ready for the fourth one?
I think I'm ready, Jacob. I think if you, you just play the next one. Let's see if I can get it. You said these are going to keep getting harder.
They will.
So, I think I'm ready though. I think I can get this. I think I can get them all. And if I don't, well then, I'll be only a little bit ashamed.
Now,
It's a little bit different because I can't see the gun.
Right.
If I could see the gun, I could just look at the gun and be like, oh, that's that.
of course.
But, we don't have that. We just have sound here.
That's the point.
So, it's a little bit different. I guess that's the point of the game.
It is.
But, just play the next one. I'm ready.
All right. If you're ready, Craig, I'm just going to go ahead and hit this here button.
Okay.
And we'll see if you get it. All right.
All right.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. Oh,
All right. Would you like that one more time, Craig?
I would.
Okay. Here we go. One more time.
Oof. Okay. All right.
If you want, we can play it one more time, Craig. All right. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah,
You want
yeah.
one more time?
Absolutely.
All right. Here we go.
Yep. Oh, okay. All right.
All right, Craig. Guess that gunshot.
Oh, all right. Well, sounds like a pistol. Sounds like a semi-automatic pistol.
All right.
Some kind. Smaller caliber, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Oh, boy. That could be a lot of different things, but I think it's triggering a little bit of a memory in me.
All right.
I think, Jacob, that is a 380. I think
Okay.
that is a 380 Ruger.
Oh, okay. All right.
LCP.
Could be.
That's what I'm going to say. That's my final answer. That's my best guess. I think that is a Ruger LCP. I know
All
why I
right.
said ICP. You got the insane clown policy on my mind, apparently.
Well, you don't want that. No.
Better start drinking Fago and such.
Let's not do that.
Sounds awful.
It does.
Anyway, no, I think that's a Ruger LCP 380.
Well, Craig Winslow, you have successfully guessed that gunshot. That is a Ruger LCP
Hot damn.
380.
Hot
I
damn.
am goddamned. I did not expect you to get that. What, you said that triggered a memory in you.
Yep.
Can you go ahead? Is that what got you to the answer right there? Is it there was a certain memory that there triggered?
Yeah. So back in about 2007, I would say around that time, my papa Claude bought my Aunt Jennifer that there gun. He bought her an LCP Ruger. Because it was a smaller gun, and he bought one of them. It was pink, and so he bought her that to defend herself, because some of them boys from down Norton Way were making their way over here, and they was coming in the house and such, and he was getting a little worried about her. So he bought her that for Christmas one year. Said, them boys get a little too wild, you just give them one of these.
Right. That makes sense.
She was great for that. She never had to use it. Them were nice boys ultimately.
All right.
We got along swell.
Well, that's good.
Aunt Jennifer, she's pretty small,
Right.
So, she needed something to shoot at them if, worst came to worst.
Right.
So that's what Papa Claude got her.
That makes sense.
And we shot it a couple times, out at the range, and
right.
It just kind of remembered that.
Right.
Just kind of remembered the sound,
I'll be damned.
So that's how it ultimately got there, and
right.
That's pretty much it,
Well, Craig, color me impressed. I mean, I can't believe you remember all that. That's a hell of a memory. I'm happy for you. Happy for you, Aunt Jennifer. How's she doing? She doing all right these days?
Oh, she's doing all right. She's been spending a lot of time down there at church,
all right,
volunteering and such, and
okay,
she hosts the potluck every year.
Oh,
the
right.
sausage potluck.
Of course,
she hosts that every year.
Okay,
so that's her big thing. She other than that, she's got 2 kids now. They run around on dirt bikes and such. Them's my nephews.
Wait,
and they're
right.
doing all right. They're getting in a little bit of trouble in school here recently, so
all right.
They sometimes we got to take the dirt bikes away.
Well,
but what are you gonna do? Them kids could be kids, all right. That's all there is to that. Sometimes I go over there and show them video games and such, and they show me some video games and such, and we go from there. That's about it.
All right.
But yeah, and Jennifer, she's doing just fine, Jacob. I'll tell her you asked about her. She'll be tickled to hear that. I reckon she'll be right delighted.
Now, Craig, I reckon you misspoke back there. I reckon them are your cousins, not your nephews. That wouldn't make much sense.
Well,
that would be your sister. Would have to have kids. You do have nephews, but them ain't it.
Now listen. Now, yeah, you're right. Them are my cousins, but I do call them my nephews.
All right.
Because it just doesn't make sense. They's too little to be my cousins.
Okay.
So I just call them my nephews, and they don't know any better. They're dumb as a bag of shit. So
I mean,
it all works out in the end.
All right.
They don't really got any other uncles. So I figured I'd, step in and take the uncle role there, and
all right.
They don't know no better, and, we ain't going to tell them.
Well,
so, that's how that goes.
That is kind of you, Greg. All right. I mean, I guess I get it, but, maybe I guess it don't matter, as long as you're happy with that, then that's all that matters, I guess.
Right.
Let's move on, shall we?
Okay, Jacob. Oh, well, you said you was playing some of them there video games. So, what you been playing there, Jacob?
Well, Craig, I've been playing some of them there video games. So I got something for you right now.
All right.
Now, before you was talking about that there Metaphor ReFantazio.
I was.
And we was, joking about, that's not too good of a name for a video game.
We did.
But it's what they named it. So that's, we living with that.
Right.
So I played a game that might have a worse name than that even, actually.
Okay.
So this one is called 1000 X Resist.
Oh.
Now you spell that 1000.
All right.
Like the numbers 1000. 1000.
Okay.
And then an X, a lowercase x, the letter X.
All right.
And then the word resist.
Okay.
In all capital letters.
All right.
And that is all one word with no spaces. Now, this here game, let me tell you, it is something else.
Okay.
Right? Now, I don't really remember how I found it. It just kind of came up on my Steam suggestions. And I was like, well, this looks like, that's a hell of a name right there.
It is.
Why not? Let's give this here a shot. And I said, all right.
Okay. Well, I don't really know what to say to that, Jacob. That sounds like an insane piece of shit to me.
Okay.
So what is the game even? What is it? What the hell? What turned you on to this right here?
Well, I was on the Steam page for it because it came. So Steam does this thing where, it gives you a little queue of games and you can go through them. And most of mine are just like racing games and such.
Okay.
But I seen this one. I was like, well, that's a hell of a name right there. I mean, obviously.
All right.
And then I was like, well, what do people have to say about this here game? So I just started scrolling down. And I seen some reviews from some places, and there was a lot of like 9 out of 10s and 4 out of 5s and such. And I was like, all right, well, let's see what people, like actual people, have to say about it. And then I read a bunch of stuff about how good the story was.
Okay.
I was like, well, I reckon I can give this a shot. Let's see if it's any good, right?
Right.
So I start playing it, and I mean, first and foremost, I would like to say the problems with the game. Because I feel like I want to start with what I think is bad about it. Maybe you shouldn't start with the negatives, but I'm going to do that anyway.
I mean, you can do what you want, Jacob. I ain't going to object to nothing here.
All right. Well, let me tell you. Now, first of all, let me just say that, I mean, you can kind of make the judgment that it's kind of barely a game.
All right.
I mean, it's a game, don't get me wrong. Like, well, somebody on a review said that it was kind of a walking simulator, and I kind of disagree with that. But then again, I just don't like that there term. I more preferred like a narrative game, like an interactive narrative game. I think that's a good term for this.
All right.
It's got a little bit more, like you're not just walking from point A to point B, even though, I mean, you kind of doing that a lot of the time. There's some other stuff here and there, but, not much. So, most of the game, you just walk around talking to folks.
Okay.
You're talking to these ladies, and they all look the same as you. They just dressed in different colors and such.
So that's the game right there? You just walk around and talk to folk?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the game right there. I mean, you just walk around talking to folk, and, sometimes they'll tell you some stuff, and sometimes that stuff is important, and sometimes that stuff's not important.
Okay.
Now, the thing is you got to walk around and talk to folk. And the main place you got to do that is in this place, and I forget what it's called right now. I think it's called like the garden or some such. It's kind of slipping my mind. But what you do is you got to navigate this space, and they made it almost impossible to navigate. It is just nonsense.
Well,
and then they give you a map, and the map isn't very good. It is made to fit with the theme of the game, so it's like a child's drawing.
Okay.
But I tell you what, it don't help you very much. And then you got to find, where these people are. It's a little side objective, and they's hard to find. I tell you what, it took me a couple hours every now and then just to get to one place. And that ain't too good. I tell you what, right now.
That don't sound very good, Jacob. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, this don't sound very fun to me. I mean, what makes the game actually worth playing then?
Well, I mean, it's mostly just the story, Craig. I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
So this story is really good. I'm gonna tell you. If you ever played, if you ever played that there Nier Automata,
I have not.
That there game with with the lady in the dress.
I know.
It's kind of like that a little bit sometimes. It's kind of like Death Stranding from that there Kojima fella.
All right.
It's kind of like that too. They got a lot of play on word stuff going on here. There's a weird poetry thing going on. There's a lot of it's all over the place. I tell you that right now.
It sounds like
it's definitely inspired by that there pandemic, cause there's like these aliens in it, and they's called the occupants, right? These big headless fellas, and they walk around and they destroyed the world, right? And that, and they did it by spreading this disease that makes people cry themselves to death.
Okay.
And so if that don't tell you what it's kind of all about right there, that's about as much as you want to really give people on them. But everybody's got to wear one of them there masks.
Right.
And it's a whole thing. So, it's touching on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff about like Chinese culture and like some riots in Hong Kong that I don't know if they's real or not. I think they did happen. But I tell you what, it's just intriguing throughout. They weave it all in quite well.
All right, well, it sounds like you like the game. I mean, despite it sounding like a piece of shit. But does it like look good or anything like that?
Well, I tell you, no, it does not. Them graphics, they remind me of like early PlayStation 4 graphics. When they was trying to figure out, how good they can make them.
Right.
But they was just kind of porting over, like them Xbox 360 and then PlayStation 3 graphics to them. So we weren't, they didn't really know what they was doing quite yet.
Right.
So it kind of looks like that, like a third party thing. It's hard to explain, but no, the game does not look particularly great. In fact, it's got some weird light and stuff. But I mean, considering it's, like a small little Chinese studio.
Okay.
I kind of give them a pass on that. I tell you what, I mean, they's probably bigger than, our studio.
I mean, yeah.
But I mean, that ain't hard to do.
No.
I mean, we're like 3 dudes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, really, we're just Glenn. I mean, me and you is there like, hey, Glenn, can we put like, a pond over here? And he's like, fuck no, we can't. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, he knows best. I mean, I'm not going to argue with him. Well, I mean, I find it interesting, Jacob, that, you played this. I mean, this seems kind of up your alley because, you like that there weird shit.
Right.
So that's kind of cool. I'm happy for you. Should other people play this? Like, do you recommend it to people or, what? I mean, it sounds like it's got a lot of stuff about that there pandemic. And, so people around here,
Right.
believe, what they believe about it. I mean, you and I know that what they believe is kind of stupid around here.
I mean,
let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen what happened to my Aunt Kelly.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Right. I mean, your Aunt Kelly never really recovered from that there. I mean, she did, but now, I mean, it's the whole thing with her. She got on that there ventilator. It was the whole thing. I mean, we don't mean to get real with y'all, but I mean, that did happen. I mean, it was not pretty. It was touch and go there for a little bit.
I mean, yeah, no, she swore off a lot of things after that. I mean, it was a whole goddamn thing. I mean, she still can't eat grapes. I mean, we try to give them to her every now and then, and she's just like, nope, can't do it. COVID.
Right. Well, Craig, I mean, COVID-19 did do a number to her, but I do not think the grape thing is related. That might be diverticulitis or something such, and you might need to take her to a doctor and have her examined. I'm just going to let you know.
Okay.
But anyway, I do recommend this here game. I think it's a fantastic story.
Okay.
I think I was intrigued throughout. It took me about, like, I don't know, I'm going to say like 14 hours. I was taking my time through it. I was having a couple Miller Lights the whole way through.
Well.
If you like them there animes that are weird, like that they're like Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Right.
You might get into something like this right there.
Okay.
So I highly recommend it. I mean, it's on my short list right now. It's moving up. It has surpassed a few things on my list this year. I'm going to tell you right now. And it's mostly because that story is just well done.
Okay.
I think it was about chapter 2 for me when I was in there and I was just like, wow, that was something else right there.
All right.
So, definitely check this one out. I mean, if it ain't too much and, you find it on sale, for sure.
Okay.
I'd even recommend paying full price for it. I think it's that good. I think it's worth your time right there.
Well, Jacob, I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, you've kind of brought me around to it. I mean, I don't play much of them games. It's just storylines, but
right.
I don't know, mate. I've been here, since we've been doing this here video game thing, I've been, discovering there's all types of games. I mean, before I just bought The Crew 2 on sale and I would just play that for months.
I mean, you did.
I mean, I really did like The Crew 2. It was an all right game. I mean, you did a race with that there airplane. It was a whole thing.
I mean, you did.
It was pretty fun, but, there's all kinds of games out there, more than I thought there was. And I'm glad, since we've been on this little adventure of ours that we got to discover all that, So this sounds like something I might actually want to check out,
I think you should check it out, Craig. I think it might expand your horizons more than you think it would.
Right.
I think it'd be good for you to play something like this. You know, get you out of your comfort zone even more. I mean, you was playing that there Metaphor ReFantazio, and you seemed to enjoy yourself there.
I did.
You know, everything, you know, these are all things outside your wheelhouse. I mean, we played us a lot of that there Call of Duty.
We did.
We played us a lot of that there Crew 2.
You know it.
You know, we played a lot of things like that. You know, them there Forza Horizon games.
Right.
You know, Car Mechanic Simulator, we did have a go around with that for a little while.
Did we.
That was a whole thing. But, you know, that's another podcast entirely.
It is.
There. Now, Craig, well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't got much more to talk about when it comes to video games. You got anything else you want to talk about before, we get on out of here?
Well, I mean, not really, but I mean, I guess there is one more thing, but I mean, I should probably wait till after the podcast. But I don't know. What do you think, man?
Well, I mean, Craig, we've made some real breakthroughs here today. I'll tell you that right now. So maybe, talking in front of these here people is, helping you out a little bit. So if you got to get something off your chest, I would say now's the time to do it. Why not? I mean, I'm here. If it's too bad, I mean, we can always just edit it off. It ain't no big deal. I mean, they do it all the time on their stage select. Something they don't like is on there. They just whoop right out of there. No problem. That's what editing's for. I mean, I might have to learn how to do that because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm sure it ain't too hard. I mean,
it'll be
throw
fine.
it into that there Google box and they'll tell you how to do it.
They will
for sure. So if you got something you want to say, I mean, why not right now? Whatever.
All right. Well. All right, Jacob, listen. Diane came over the other day.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you know how she is.
I do know how she is, Craig. Now, let me guess. She was asking for money so she could go down to the crossroads, get herself a tank of gas for that there side by side. Let me guess.
Right.
You did.
Okay, Jacob.
All right.
Jacob, listen. I mean, yes, she did ask for me for some money. She did.
I knew it.
She asked for $7. She was going to go down there. She just needs to get back up and down the mountain just a couple times. She's applied for a couple jobs. She's looking into some things.
Oh, yeah.
She started crocheting. She's trying to sell that on eBay. She's making moves out there. It's a long process.
Craig, that isn't even where you sell crochet at. She needs to get on Etsy. And she ain't crocheting. She's crocheting my ass. That's about what she's doing. I tell you that right now. Let me guess, Craig, you gave her more than $7. I'm going to guess that right now. I bet it's more in the range of 20-something.
I mean, all right. Listen, I may have gave her about $100. Okay? Just to get her back on her feet, Jacob. Now,
are you out of your goddamn mind? You gave her $100. $100 American dollars, Craig Winslow.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, boy? I mean, she's just going to blow it all. She's going to go down to the crossroads. She's going to buy a big pack of Oreos, and she's going to eat it all right there. That side by side, she don't even take care of that goddamn thing. I'll tell you what right now. She just riding that all. She's just joyriding from one dude's house to another, just getting money off him. Sometimes she probably doing a little more.
Now,
right?
Jacob.
You need to stay away from that girl. I'm going to tell you that right now. She is nothing but trouble for you.
Jacob.
All right?
And I hear you. Now listen,
do you?
She's been having a little bit of trouble for the side by side. She needed a couple parts for it. It needs a new battery. Needs a little bit of a tune up here and there.
I'm sure.
I told her she should come back on Tuesday. I put it up on the lift. Take a look at it for her. I might need to borrow Jeremy's ratchet set.
Jesus Christ,
Craig! If you could talk to him for me, see if he'll loan me that.
Craig,
that'd be nice.
Craig. He ain't gonna loan you his goddamn ratchet set. He just bought that. All right? He just paid his hard-earned money for that. He ain't gonna loan that to you. Now,
well,
Craig, I don't even know where to start. Now, when I was on that there stage select, the subject of Diane may have come up and how I feel about her. Now,
I heard.
She is breaking your heart, and I hate that. As your friend, it kills me to see you like this. All right? Now, I'm going to say something on this here podcast, because this is our podcast, and we may edit it out later. All right? I'm going to say something that I wanted to say there, but I held myself back. All right? That Diane, she is a fat fucking whore.
Now, Jacob.
All right? I'm tired of her coming around here asking you for money driving you crazy.
All right.
With her womanly ways. I mean, not that all women are bad. Ain't none of them inherently bad. I think most women are just swell. But Diane is another story. All right, she is something else. She is a Jezebel if I ever seen one.
All right.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, it breaks my heart to see you like this. You don't need to help her. You need to tell her to go fuck herself. That's what you need to do, Craig Winslow. All right, I'm just being real with you right now.
I appreciate that, Jacob. I really do. I mean, I don't know, man. It's hard, you know.
I know.
It's hard. I mean, there was a part of me that loved her, you know.
I get it.
It's just tough. It's
I know.
just tough. I mean, you're right. You're right. I should. But, you know, I'm a sucker. What can I say? I'm a sucker. I don't know what to tell you, Jacob.
It's all right, Craig. I know. We're all out here. We're trying our best. That's all we can do, I mean, I say she's a fat fucking whore, and I do mean it. But, that's no discredit to, sex workers or nothing like that. They're just out there, they're just doing their job, But Diane, she is a manipulator, all right? And I don't like her. I'll be frank about it, all right? She's an unkind woman. And I think you deserve better, Craig Winslow. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, just me and you. You deserve the best. You're my best friend. All right? I only want the best for you. That's it.
You're my best friend too, Jacob. Oh, wait. Hold on. Hey, you hear that? Who's there? Hey.
Well, I'll be the devil dipped in molasses if it isn't Jacob Washington and Craig Winslow. What the hell you boys up to in here? What is all this? You all got these microphones in here? What the hell are you doing in here?
Hi, Jeremy. Hey, we was just doing one of them podcasts. You ever heard one of them?
Yeah, Jeremy.
I mean, it's where you get on these here microphones and, you talk to people and they tend to listen. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, we doing a podcast about them there video games because, we developers now. So we figured, people would want to hear what we have to say about them there video games because, we offer, a unique perspective and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, because, we's out here, people don't think people like us play video games, but you play video games before, Jeremy. You remember when we used to play them there Mario Brothers down there in your basement?
I mean, that was like 20 years ago, Craig. I mean, grow up, man. This is what the hell are y'all doing? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. What are you, like 17 now? It don't matter. Listen, boys, Craig, especially you. Listen, I'm gonna need to borrow your lift, all right? So my stepdaughter, right, she was out there driving that there go-kart I bought her for her birthday.
Right.
And there was a snake in the yard, and she seen it, and she kind of had a panic, and then she swerved to the right and ran right into the shed.
Oh, boy.
And done broke the drive shaft on the goddamn go-kart. So I figured, I got the drive shaft. I'm just going to need a lift, we'll put it up there, get it out of there. Shouldn't take more than, a couple hours maybe. I done bought some Miller Lights, so, I bring the party today. I figured, I'd be appreciative if you could help me out with this.
Well, I mean, me and Jacob, we was just finishing up here, so, I mean, I don't see why not,
I reckon we better get out there and do that. I mean, if we want to get done by 9, we better get out there right now. So, yeah. Jeremy, just give us 1 second. We're going to have to wrap this here thing up. And that way, people know that the show is over. All right? I don't know if you know how this works. I mean, it is a little rude. I mean, Craig, you should have locked the door. I'm a little pissed off right now. But, that's neither here nor there. We're going to help our friend out. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Sweet Tea Games podcast. This is a podcast about them there video games by yours truly, Jacob Washington, and my best friend, Craig Winslow. And we will see you next time on the Sweet Tea Games podcast. Until then, have yourself sweet tea. Goodbye.
Jeremy, can I borrow your ratchet set?
Absolutely fucking not, Craig.